Hello everyone. My face is too close to the camera. Hello. Good afternoon. I am here today with my field of cows. I think you can see them back there. So back there, we're gonna start talking about breeds a little bit more. But back behind me, we have a pasture of Angus cattle. You can tell that they're black Angus cattle because they're all black. There are other breeds of cattle that also have black coloring, but black Angus is used a lot for beef production because they produce a very high quality meat. They have a nice, good marbling to it. And so they accumulate a good amount of muscle and a good amount of fat. So Angus are used, I'm trying to get in a good spot where you can see them. So Angus are used a lot in beef production. As you can probably see, pasture out here is pretty tall. There's a lot of rough brush. This is just one of the fields that these beef cattle are on. So they're rotated between several different fields, depending on the time of year, depending on the weather, depending on what they need to eat, depending on how the animals are feeling, depending on lots of different things. Sorry, I'm a terrible filmer. I'm on my phone. Haha. So we have a field of Angus here. And so this is a typical setup for what beef production looks like. So these are mostly steers out here, but we also do have some cows and some heifers because they breed here. And so they do have cows and heifers on pasture out here. And the steers are the ones that go to slaughter, of course, and they'll keep the cows and the heifers for a few breeding seasons before they decide that they might not need them anymore, and they could sell them to somewhere else to use for breeding, or they can also send them to slaughter. So it just depends. But you're typically going to find, and I'm going to show you some other fields that they get rotated on, but they help eat a lot of this rough brush. And cow's hide is very, very thick, so this rough brush really doesn't irritate them too much. I'm gonna go walk across the way here. Some of you might know where I'm at. I'm at Honey Locust Farms. I'm borrowing their cows. I'm borrowing everyone's cows because I live in Newport and I ain't got no cows in Newport. Over here is an area where they get put into at night. So this is kind of like their barn, but this is the back side, so you can't see the front side. So all cows that are on pasture should have shelter to be able to get out of the elements if they want to. This is an example of one of the other pastures that these cows rotate on. As you can see, it's not quite as brushy. It's not quite as long. They've cut some sorghum and stuff, you can tell. But also, the cows are generally on this pasture a lot more, at least for the beginning of the summer season. So this has been mowed down from the beginning of the summer. And that's what's going to happen to that pasture over there as those cows are on it. Those cows are slowly going to eat some of the roughage and forage out there, as well as they're going to continue to mow out there as the cows are out there eating stuff. You'll also notice next to the shed, there are some water barrels and a lot of hay. And so we want to make sure that even though they're out there foraging and stuff, hay, especially like sweet alfalfa hay, can be a really good, nice treat for them. And if they're not getting enough forage, sweet alfalfa hay might be a good way to get them to eat forage because it's nice and sweet. They normally really like it. They have a separate shed here, and this is their bull barn. I'm not sure where the bull is today, but they have a separate barn for the bull. So most of the time, when you are operating a beef operation, you keep your bulls separate because bulls tend to be pretty aggressive, and you don't want to release the bull till the females are ready to breed, till they're in heat. And then you'll normally let the bull out with the holler of heifers, and he'll do his thing as needed. I wish I could get a good video of them. So they're out here just foraging away. I don't know if you can see them munching, but they're just gonna eat and eat and eat. They look incredible. They really do look nice. They have a good amount of muscle, good amount of fat on them. The animals out here, you can tell I can tell that there's some cows and heifers up here because they're not as muscular as the steers are. And you know, these cows aren't ready for slaughter yet. They still have to put some finish on them. So they're still gonna have to put some final fat on them before they go to slaughter. And to put finish or some final fat on them, they won't leave them out in the pasture. They're gonna put them into they're gonna put them into like the barn at night, and they're gonna start giving them some extra feed, some cornmeal, soybean meal, cottonseed hulls and meal, kind of a mixture, a ration if you will, to have them put on some extra fat, to get that finish that they need to make a high quality, nicely marbled Angus steak. I'm gonna try to get a different angle. How's y'all's day going? Good? It's a beautiful day out. Don't forget to come to the first FFA meeting of the year down by the greenhouse, 4 o'clock. Oh yeah, here we go. So we've got about half a dozen cattle out here, and they rotate. They get more cattle certain times of the year, so they'll get some more calves in the spring. A lot of their cattle has already gone to slaughter for the year. A lot of their steers have. So yeah, that's just kind of a different environment than what we're going to look at next. So the next thing that we're going to look at is the dairy farm. The next video you're going to watch, it looks quite a bit different. Compare the differences. I'm going to try to answer some more questions that y'all had on the paper, and we'll fill out the L column in our KWL chart and move on. See ya.